Mike's Daily Podcast.
Am I droning on and on? Oh wait, I just started the show. How could I just thought I might be. No, the show just began. So welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. I can't believe somebody actually was like threatening people with a knife at the Castro Valley BART. That just shows you the way that society,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
can always be unpredictable. You never know, and that's why we talk about society and stuff like that on this show called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
And as I was driving to work, I listened to a political podcast that was talking about the whole anonymous thing and Trump, and it made me want to shout, because now we don't care about that because we've moved on to the hurricane, and everyone is saying things that are lame, like, oh, here comes Aunt Flo again.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Everyone knows what that means. Huh? I don't know what. The show's just begun.
Daily
And now I have
Podcast.
a lot of fun. So,
Yeah!
I'm thinking of putting this show on Twitch, even though I don't play video games. That's a sacrilege, right? You need to play Twitch to be on that? I know somebody that goes live, streams live on it, and that's very impressive to me. I don't have any. I can tell you about video games in the past. Pango. Does anyone remember Pango? Look who just walked in. I like saying the word Pango. Hello, Michael Masters, is Madame Rootabega. I was very offended by your earlier comment. Oh. Which one? Well, you started off the show saying good morning. I didn't start off the show with that. I probably should have. Exactly, Michael Masters. Say hi to everybody by saying good morning. Ooh. All right. Didn't mean to offend you.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
It perhaps maybe is morning for you. Maybe you want to say
Good morning, Mr. Matthews.
Or not. But look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Oh, I forgot to drive my car in the cafe anyway. You just drove. Wow. And it had a body thud, so that's pretty good.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Cafe anyway.
Anyway.
The podcast picture today is, I think we'll go with something from, what do you call it? Is it Florida? Or, oh, wait a minute. Perhaps we should go back 4 years. Hi, Basil. Oh. So my lovely lady friend found this new thing which allows you to put pads. If your dog has, like my dog has kind of, he's very slippery in the back now with his two paws. And as he walks, he'll slip around. Slip around. And it has to do with hip dysplasia, it has to do with getting older. And, well, she got these pads. She went to, I'm going to give them a free plug, and I'm going to do it because I'm going to mess up their name. Positive Karma, something like that. And there's this girl that works there, Alexa or something like that. And something, who knows? And I've talked to her before. She knows Basil really well, and she saw Basil kind of slipping around in the store. And she said, hey, try these. This is something, it's almost like a little balloon you're putting on the dog's feet, and now they have more grip. Well, I put them on Basil last night, and he seemed to be okay with it. But this morning when he got up and he was trying to walk over to get his food, it was freaking him out. He kept looking at me like, what's going on? What's this? So I took them off, and then he laid down, and that's where I left him. So hopefully he's sometimes dogs, they need to be led into things slowly, gradually. And then soon, for example, when I was a kid living in Oxnard, and Oxnard was so underdeveloped then. Now it's so developed to the hilt. There's these huge high rises and stuff along the water. And it looks like back then, did a couple houses on the water. There were some docks. We had a dock. Everyone had a dock. You also had a duck. Everyone had a free duck. I don't have a duck sound effect for here. The closest I have is a donkey. Why don't we go with a donkey? Imagine that was a duck. At any rate, so the Aflac, there we go. And the duck, no, everyone had a dock. And so I would be on this boat, this little tiny boat, looked like a bathtub with a sail on it. And we would go sail around the Channel Islands harbor. And there, I had a dog. My mom had acquired a dog, an Old English sheepdog named Ollie Mop. I don't have a bark for Ollie Mop, sadly, because that was long ago. And I don't remember. Yeah, I never had a tape recorder around to capture Ollie Mop's bark. But yeah, she got used to sailing in the sailboat. It took some time. At first she was no. And over time she suddenly got into it. So that's my point is dogs learn things just as humans do. It may be slowly. But I'm looking for a podcast picture now. Oh, part of me wants to post this picture of a ice cream truck on the beach. There's this ice cream truck that goes by. My mom parks on the beach in Daytona Beach. I went to see her at the end of August. And so this ice cream truck comes by. Well, it's playing Christmas music. In August, it's playing Christmas music. It plays Christmas music all year round. It's the funniest thing. And my mom had told me about it. Oh, yeah, there's this ice cream truck that comes by. And it's so cute. The lady always waves to me. So my mom loves the Daytona Beach because she can park her car there. That Daytona Beach is known for it's a drive-on beach. It's been that way for years. And that's one of its attractions. Its lures. People will go all the way to Daytona Beach on their motorcycle. And, you know, they love the whole being able to drive on so my mom absolutely needs that now since she has one leg. And she, you know, I've actually tried to take her to the beach where you park across the street, and then she had to walk all the way over to the beach, and that was just a pain. So now she can just drive on the beach. There she is. She sets up her chair. She's good to go. And her back is feeling better, thank you. It's still got a little ways to go, but it's feeling better. So she goes, and there's this ice cream truck that comes by. It's just fascinating. That's society, my friend. That's the craziness. No one's pulling any knives on each other, thankfully, in this situation. But that's what it is. At any rate, what I have still not found a podcast picture. I just thought I would tell you. So I listened to so many shows coming in to do this wonderful show to my job. And I hear all these things like who Anonymous could have been. I listened to Bob Woodward, some more of his thing, and about how he is 74. I had no idea. He's 74 years old. Oh, we'll go with this one. There is this strange boardwalk that goes through this jungle in Daytona Beach. This is New Smyrna. I think it's called the Academy of Art, New Smyrna. But they've got this cool little boardwalk going through the... Let's post a picture from that place. It's very modern and awesome. Yeah, what happens is, though, in the world of Bob Woodward, he's 74 years old, and he will get... You know, his story was... he talks about the presidents. And most presidents allow him access. Even George W. Bush let Bob Woodward talk to him for something like 13 hours. Obama did the same. In fact, Obama, at the end of the interview, said to Bob Woodward, hey, you have better sources than I do. So what happens is that Trump said, no, I'm not going to talk to Bob Woodward. He doesn't like Bob Woodward. He says things like...
He's a showboat. He's a grandstander.
Actually, that was about Comey. And what's interesting is now we've had so many books out about how dysfunctional the Trump cabinet is. We had Comey's book. We had Michael what's-his-face's book. And then the other book with the Omarosa. And now We've got Bob Woodward, who backs up things. A lot of his sources are anonymous, but that's how he works. That's how he did it with the Nixon Watergate scandal. And it's fascinating to listen to him say, hey, even at 74, to get the story, you have to do things like, hey, I want to go to bed early. Oh, wait, I can't. The only time I can talk to this one politician is at 11 o'clock because I just called him up. I told him I'm 4 minutes from his house. And he said, sure, come on over. And he ends up talking to this one politician, for he didn't mention who, till almost daybreak. And the interesting thing is a lot of these politicians that get named in the book, they're like, no, I didn't say that. And then Trump saying, it's all lies. It's all fake news. And I do have sound bites for all of that. And I don't know where they went.
You are fake news.
Fake news. Fake news.
They went somewhere. Things that are sold, not bought. Somebody mentioned that the other day. Things that are sold, not bought. So you would not, like, recently I said, I need lunch. So I went out and bought it. But some things are sold to you. Some things you're like thinking, I don't need this. And then it gets sold to you. Be aware of those things. Like somebody coming up to your door and going, hey, you need fiber optics implanted into your house. And then you're like, oh, okay. So you had to, the encyclopedias get sold to you. I wasn't thinking about getting an encyclopedia, but now that you're at my front door and you've rung the doorbell and you seem awful nice and kind, I'll in fact buy those really heavy books that take up so much space. And no, they don't. People don't buy those anymore, do they? I don't know. That's the thing. Or life insurance. People come up to your house and sell life insurance. The things that are sold and not bought. I never understood really what that expression is, but it's interesting to me because there are so many things. The stuff that is sold to you, you sometimes don't need. You generally don't need. And I have been sold things that I was, what? Later on. I didn't really need that, but that idiot was at the door and I couldn't turn them down. And we have to turn things down, I guess is what I'm saying. As we go outside a cafe anyway, we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. In fact, there was a lady my ex-wife met, and this lady was a quote-unquote financial advisor. And she came over to the house because my then wife was saying, hey, we need to listen to this girl. So she comes over. I guess she was a friend of a friend. She came over and talked our freaking ear off. And we're both tired. And we're wondering, when is this lady going to leave? And she went on and on, showed us all these graphs and things. And we finally got her to go. And it sucks when it's someone who's a friend of your wife's. Because you just can't say, or I mean, you could, but you'd be a jerk. But go, get out. But, it's you're kind of waiting for your then wife to say something. Leave. At any rate, this person stayed and finally left. And when she left, I said to my ex-wife, what, is this someone? I mean, I didn't want to be rude or anything, but she was annoying. She goes, yeah, she was annoying. Well, she actually showed up to the house a couple days later. And actually, she was waiting for us as we came home. It was weird. She was weird. And that was someone who was trying to sell us something. Bought, sold, not bought, bought, not sold, thing where you don't need to. My whole thing is, I am very leery of those type of people who take up so much of your friggin' time. Like this podcast, which I hope you've enjoyed today, with its little boardwalks going through the jungle of life. The oddness that there is therein. And that people are saying things to me. This was a direct quote I got yesterday. Someone told me, I'm really cut, but I enjoy jerky and a beer. That's what I heard. They actually addressed themselves. They described themselves as really cut. In my world, you never have that permission. Even if you do 1,000 sit-ups a day, you are never allowed to say that. Someone can say that about you, but you saying that about yourself, that to me, But I'm hearing that a lot more in today's world. People saying things like, well, I do the best podcast ever. Oh, another quote I heard yesterday. My podcast is heard in 18 countries. They were boasting about that. Friend, as soon as you post a podcast, it's heard in 18. It can be heard in 18 countries. It's probably downloaded by bots in 18 countries and not really heard by anyone. So thank you for listening to Mike's Daily Podcast, heard in 18 countries. Oh my gosh, some people. The audacity of hope. Oh wait, that's an Obama thing. The audacity people have that they're so...
I will welcome ideas from anybody.
I know, that's true. You should welcome ideas from anyone. But at the same time, some people have an incredible self-confidence that is ridiculous. That's all I'm going to say. And Pingo. And wrap up the show. Oh my gosh! There's something over here outside a cafe anyway that I forgot to mention, if I may. So my lovely lady friend loves the Stitch Fix. And they send this little card to you when you get your Stitch Fix. May I read a little bit of it? It's hilarious. Happy Fix Day, it says to my lady friend. I'm so glad that you loved your previous fix, and I'm thrilled to be styling you again for Fix number 3. Stitch Fix, by the way, you basically pay them money to style you, get you clothes, get you a nice... You get basically hiring a fashion consultant that sends you clothes. I think it's a cool idea, but I love how they wrote this on this little tiny card. I'm thrilled to be styling you again for Fix number 3. I was inspired by the chic style on your Pinterest board to start things off. I guess they asked to see your Pinterest board. By the way, I'm on Pinterest. I think it's pinterest.com/Mike Talks. It's a thing at the end. Mike Talks is what gets you to my... Or just type in Mike's Daily Podcast or Mike Matthews, Mike H. Matthews. But Mike Talks, I think, is the end of it. Anyway, apparently a lot of people listen to me through Pinterest. And I'm heard in 18 countries. I was inspired by the chic style on your Pinterest board to start things off with the rune faux letter detail moto leggings. Which, by the way, as if you couldn't tell, I don't know jack blank about any fashion. I think I'm wearing the same shirt I wore for the past 12 years now at this moment. Which will pair perfectly with the Daniel Rain tunic and made in the USA Audrey 3+1 kimono for a weekend brunch with friends. Who doesn't love a weekend brunch with friends? Complete the look with flats and the Market and Spruce crossbody, which has multiple compartments for storage. I am loving this copy, everybody. Loving it. I rounded things off with the tinsel chambray. Who doesn't love a chambray? Which is perfect by itself or layered with jackets or cardigans for this fall. Looking forward to your feedback on the fits and styles so we can continue to learn about your preferences in order to make your next fix better. Kisses and hugs, or XO, or whatever that means. SE. Can I just say, this company, if I was like someone that said, hey, I invest in stocks or whatever, they sound like kind of a smart. I don't know, someone could outdo them, maybe do their thing better, but their presentation was definitely something. I was... Not to give them a plug, but this is probably some... I mean, they'll probably get bought out or overtaken by someone else, but isn't that interesting, the world of Stitch Fix? That's our society, everybody. We don't go out and buy clothes. We have them sent to us. Oh, I can hear the older generation going, what's the fun in that? Not going out to actually buy your clothes. I like going to the store and trying on a bunch of clothes in a dressing room that had someone defecate in it earlier that day. Wait, what did I just say? I hope that's not the... Next show, it'll be the wonderful Aunt Flo. No, it'll be the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the Engineer. Thank you for enjoying episode 1702. 1702! 1702! Chambray!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!